It's honestly a meme at this point in the NBA community with YouTubers making truth videos. But y'all know it's a banger if I put in that harsh truth title because I only do that for special videos now. But today, I want to do a harsh truth of harsh truths. I want to go over every single team in the NBA and just give one harsh truth statement, one harsh truth take that I feel like their fan base really needs to hear. But before we get into the rest of the video, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel hosted by your boy, B Souls, you know what I'm saying? This week's windscreen, or this video's windscreen, is the default black. You know, let's bring it back to the OG. This video is also sponsored by the Let's Keep It a Buck podcast. Links will be in the description. Last week we had Sporting Logically. The week before that we had Dom 2K. And we got a whole line of guests lined up, so make sure to go ahead and check out the podcast. We're building a little, family, little community on that side of things. So once again, go ahead and check it out to be part of that family. Like the video for more videos like this. Subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all my videos that I upload. I upload like twice a week. Come on now. Join the fam. It's fun out here. But let's go ahead and start this video off with the first team, the Atlanta Hawks. Now, the Atlanta Hawks last draft, a lot of people thought that they made a splash in the draft when they drafted both Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter. Now, you guys are a rebuilding team, so I don't expect you guys to even make the playoffs next year. But I am really questioning that core, especially based on what I saw in DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish's rookie year. Because in their rookie year, both of those two averaged around 10 to 12 points a game. And I believe DeAndre Hunter shot 41% from the field and Cam Reddish shot 38%. I understand it is their rookie year and that they do need more time to prove themselves, but that's not really what you want to see from two of the most highly coveted draft picks from that draft. The Dallas Mavs, look, I honestly don't have much to criticize about this franchise. Luka and Porzingis are such a good duo that is given Kristaps is healthy, but specifically Luka, man. Whew. That boy is the future. that boy is the future. I guess if there is one thing, I think y'all just have to realize that you can literally have the best offense of all time, which y'all did statistically. But as long as that defense is sus, y'all ain't gonna go anywhere. And the fact that y'all had the best offense in history statistically and got bounced out in the first round says a lot about what this team needs to do moving forward. The Boston Celtics, man, my team, my squad, the Boston Celtics. I would like to view myself as one of the most unbiased Celtics fans out there. I criticize this team a lot, and I think the biggest critique I have, or one fact that I think Celtics fans really need to accept, the Gordon Hayward contract, the Gordon Hayward signing, has been a wash. It's been a dud. It's been a waste. Now, bear in mind, I do understand the circumstances, right? Gordon Hayward did not want to be injured. You know what I'm saying? When we signed him, we did not expect him to be injured. But given these circumstances, given what actually happened, Gordon Hayward's tenure for the Boston Celtics has been this. First year, gets injured in the first game of the season, out for the whole season. Second season, comes back but plays trash because he was recovering from that gruesome injury in his first season. Third season, finally plays good. We get into the playoffs, he gets injured and misses the first two rounds, and obviously it's just been 2 games since, but he hasn't been playing well. And I understand that he is coming back from an injury, so give him some slack. But that's the thing. That's been Gordon Hayward's whole tenure for the Boston Celtics. He's been injured and he needs time to recover. And he has a player option going into next year, and he'll probably accept it because he's not getting 32 mil from any other team. Now let's move on to the Denver Nuggets. Now the Denver Nuggets, again, I just want to keep on praising because the last 2 years, they have been pretty phenomenal. They have one of the best young cores in the league. Nikola Jokic is a phenomenal big man, a phenomenal player. But I guess my thing is, it's not even a take, it's not even a harsh truth. I have a question. I have a question for you guys. How sustainable is Jamal Murray's play? Because in the playoffs, this man is averaging 27 a game on like 50-50-90 splits. Obviously, I don't expect him to do that in the regular season next season. But my question is, do y'all think after these playoffs, he can actually be a consistent 23-24 point per game scorer for this team? Because I think if Jamal Murray can be that consistent game in and game out, then that changes the future of this team drastically. I don't know why I said it like that. Drastically. The Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets. I feel like a lot of people forgot that in the last offseason, they got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Like, That fact has just been kind of taken for granted. But the thing with the Brooklyn Nets that I'm really worried about, and I think Nets fans should be more worried about, is how Kevin Durant is going to return from his injury. I say this hoping for the best for Kevin Durant, right? I want to see the old Kevin Durant, the Kevin Durant that we've known for the last decade, come back fully healthy, because that man is an extremely talented basketball player. But this man suffered a torn Achilles. Do y'all know how many people come back from a torn Achilles like it never happened? One. Dominique Wilkins is the only player who was a superstar caliber player before an Achilles injury and returned as a superstar caliber player. Now, Kevin Durant has had a history of having injuries and coming back and just balling the out. So I don't put it past him to do the same here. But again, a torn Achilles is just something else. And I just want Brooklyn Nets fans to be wary of that reality. Now, the Golden State Warriors, they have been in a lot of rumors, a lot of YouTube videos about Giannis, being traded to Golden State for Draymond and Andrew Wiggins and the picks. Yeah, I know y'all seen those videos, man. But I do want Warriors fans to not rely on that reality too much, not rely on those theories too much, because I think there's a real possibility that the Golden State Warriors don't do anything at all. They just take their draft pick and draft a player that's going to help them in the short term in terms of fit, but also a player that they're going to be able to build upon in future years. Because Stephen Curry, the man looks like he's 26, but he's gonna be 33 by the end of the next season. Klay's gonna be 31, Draymond is 30, and I know that's not the latter side of 30, but it is 30 nonetheless. So the Warriors might just take the chance of building around that core one more time, not trading away any young prospects, and just see how it goes. Because even if they don't trade for Giannis, the Golden State Warriors are still an extremely talented team. The Charlotte Hornets, I honestly dislike this team the most out of any franchise in the NBA, because for as long as I've been watching basketball, this team, this organization has had like no direction. They're just one of those NBA teams that just exist. They're just there. They're an NBA team. I've never seen the NBA community excited about the Hornets. I've never seen them as a threat to anything. They haven't gotten any ridiculous draft prospect, but hopefully this year they can actually strike a little bit of gold, maybe some silver. It doesn't even have to be gold. Just get an all-star on your team that we can like root for, and hopefully Devontae Graham continues his improvement. But I don't like the Hornets. I'm sorry. I don't like the Hornets. Now, the Houston Rockets, look, the harsh truth about your organization, about your franchise, is that this is a team perennially built. I don't even know if perennially is a word, but year in and year out, they're going to be one of the top teams in the West. And just because of how good Harden is, and if they're going to have Russell Westbrook, they're going to be a threat. Because when you have a guy that can score 50 on any given night, it's obviously scary going into any game. And they're going to be competitive in the playoffs. They're not going to be an easy out. But the reality is, I don't see y'all winning a championship with James Harden leading the way. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. He's just too inconsistent in big games. Mike D'Antoni doesn't know how to make adjustments, but apparently they're parting ways, so that might not be as much of a problem. But if they're keeping Russell Westbrook, again, one of the most inconsistent stars in big games, and you have two of them on the same team. And I said this, a lot of people said this going into the year, and people just kind of overlooked that because they looked like they were working. Nope. At the end of the day, at the end of the season, the inevitable happened. While not simultaneously two underperformers underperformed. The Chicago Bulls, I'm repping them right now, you know what I'm saying? The Chicago Bulls. Now, just a quick side note, when y'all see the hats I wear in the videos, that does not mean like I'm a super fan of that team. I like certain logos, I like certain color schemes, and I just wear what I want to wear. Like, it's not really a statement, But the Chicago Bulls, look, my thing with the Chicago Bulls is the past 2 years, they've had the young talent and they've had the names that can easily, if everything worked, they could make a run at a playoff spot in the East. But for some reason, whether it be injuries, whether it be coaching, whether it be just players not feeling their potential, they just have never been a threat to be an 8th seed even. Like when you have Wendell Carter, when you have Zach LaVine, when you have Chris Dunn, when you have Lauri Markkanen, you would expect more at least playoff contention, but that just hasn't been the case. Long story short, the names and the talent that they have, it has to translate to wins at some point. The Los Angeles Clippers, Y'all know how I feel about the Los Angeles Clippers. They blew a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets in a series that they were favored. They had all the talent, they had all the pieces, they had the coach, they had the superstar, they had another star on top of that. They had 2 Sixth Man of the Year candidates. They had one of supposedly the best perimeter defenders in the league in Pat Bev. And they couldn't win a championship. No excuses. No excuses. The Cleveland Cavaliers... Colin Sexton is not the dude, in the sense that he's not going to be leading you guys into deep playoff runs, at least in my opinion. Now, if he is, then I'll say I'm wrong, but personally, I don't think a 6-foot guard is going to lead any team anytime soon to anything significant. That's just me. Y'all are still looking for your actual true future franchise cornerstone. The Lakers. The harsh truth is that the Boston Celtics are a better franchise. I'm kidding. It's not. It's not. I mean, I honestly don't know what to say. Y'all are playing phenomenal basketball right now. Y'all are playing championship level basketball. Y'all did what you were supposed to do. I mean, there's not even a reason to look at, you know, the future. The future is now. But I guess the only thing is, as of the recording of this video, this championship is yours to lose. And you guys are fully expected to win a championship now. Now that the Clippers are gone, now that the Bucks are gone, this is your championship to lose. And you guys have all the requisite pieces to win a championship. And you guys should be favored going into both the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals if you guys make it. So again, no excuses for this franchise. The Detroit Pistons. Again, I put them in that tier with the Hornets. Because this is a team that just year in and year out, it has no direction. Like, what's the plan? What are we doing? Who are we building around? I hate those franchises. If any, I hate these franchises more than the Knicks and the Hawks and those teams that are consistently at the bottom, but at least get good draft picks, because at least they're committing to something, right? Although it hasn't really been proven to work, at least they're committing to something. These teams like the Pistons and the Hornets, they just consistently a 9th, 10th seed. And it pisses me off for their fans, because their fans go into every game not even expecting a dub. And at the end of the season, they're not going to get a good draft pick. I can't with these teams. Now the Grizzlies, again, a good young core. They have John Morant, they have Jaren Jackson Jr. Not much to critique about this franchise right now. The only thing I will say is I think we kind of overrated John Morant's 3-point shooting ability. Like, I believe before the pandemic, when you look at Basketball Reference, the dude was averaging like 37% from 3. But the reality is that's only due to the fact that he doesn't take that many threes, and he doesn't take that many threes because even he knows that he's not that deadly of a 3-point shooter. He's actually, in reality, around like 34 or 35. The Indiana Pacers. Look, I just want to get this clear. Y'all should not expect TJ Warren to average 31 points again for y'all next season. He's not the dude. And also, I just want y'all to actually be open-minded to the Victor Oladipo era being over, unless y'all get a coach like Mike D'Antoni, because Mike D'Antoni and a ball handling guard like Victor Oladipo, y'all saw what he did to Harden, man. Who knows what happens? Just, if y'all get Mike D'Antoni, give it a chance. That's all I'm saying. The Minnesota Timberwolves, y'all have no excuses anymore. The excuse before this season was that, oh, Cat, he's really good, but he doesn't really have help. So y'all got out and got D'Angelo Russell. So now Cat has D'Lo, and y'all had like what, half a season under your belt now? What's up, y'all? Edit Souls in the building right now. I was completely wrong. D'Lo has only played 12 games, and that's not even close to half of a season. So I was wrong. Relax. And looking at the teams that are going to be competing in the West next year, I wouldn't be surprised if the Timberwolves didn't make the playoffs at the end of the season, but they should be at least like competing for the 8th seed. If I see another 14th, 15th place in the West, oh man. A harsh truth video is coming. The Heat, again, this is a franchise that I just want to keep on praising because they have been phenomenal this year. And they've just been doing a lot of right the past year or so. But my question with the Miami Heat and Miami Heat fans is, do y'all think y'all are relying too much on waiting for Joel Embiid or a Giannis Antetokounmpo to be available to take y'all to that next level? Again, that is barring y'all don't win the finals this year, which It's looking like y'all have a chance to at least be in the big stage. But let's say y'all don't win the finals. Is the plan moving forward Bam, Jimmy Butler, and Goran Dragic for the next 2 to 3 years? And if so, how sustainable is that? How much is that really going to contend in the Eastern Conference? Because who knows, this run right now could just be a one and done type of run. But if it's not that, are y'all going to, plan to give Tyler Hero the keys at any point? Is that going to be soon? And if so, what's the ceiling with a duo of Tyler Hero and Bam leading a team? I don't know. But I more so have questions with the Heat than I do like a harsh truth, because I really don't know with this franchise. But yeah, y'all are doing fine right now. New Orleans Pelicans fans, it is very simple. Zion Williamson needs to lose weight, and it takes one to know one. Shout out to Sourcehole. Sourcehole is still in the building, working out to validate my basketball opinions, because that makes sense. But yeah, Zion has to lose weight for this whole operation to work. Zion is the transcendent player, the transcendent superstar that the New Orleans Pelicans want to build around, and for that to happen, he needs to be in shape. He needs to be able to be on the court and not be gassed in like 25 minutes of play. Because what I saw in the bubble, I was genuinely concerned. I was genuinely concerned for Zion, because I want this guy to succeed. We all saw what he was in Duke, and we know the potential this kid has. But what I saw in the bubble, like, he could barely stay on the court because he was so gassed. And it wasn't just that he couldn't stay on the floor for a long period of time. When he was on the floor on defense, like, he wasn't contesting shots because he was so gassed. And going into the draft, one of the biggest things that people were excited about with Zion is actually his defensive capabilities because of his athleticism and his build. But the way he's built right now, that's not the case at all. So Zion, my guy, we can do this. We can do this. The Milwaukee Bucks, the truth is, y'all are the Houston Rockets of the East. Y'all have a superstar that is flawed in the playoffs but is phenomenal in the regular season. Y'all have a coach that really has trouble making adjustments in the playoffs. You guys are always going to be a threat to make a deep playoff run, but at the end of the day, at the end of the year, it just never comes to fruition, it seems like. But the harsh truth is that Giannis might leave the Bucks because they couldn't win a championship, when in reality, the reason they couldn't win a championship is because of Giannis's weaknesses, especially in the half-court set. And the Milwaukee Bucks have done a tremendous job of building around Giannis's strengths, and the fact that he might leave even though they did that, that's tough. Even though they can't offer him a supermax, I mean, that's tough for the Bucks. That's tough. The Oklahoma City Thunder. If y'all lose Chris Paul and Billy Donovan in one offseason, and y'all already lost Billy Donovan, y'all better find a way to fill that void, because Chris Paul and Billy Donovan were very big components of that 2020 team. A team that was really doing well. A team that gelled really well. And I'm just worried. I'm kind of just confused on what the future plan is for this team. Like, is it Shai, Lou Dort, and Darius Baisley season? Is that the plan? The New York Knicks. Look, I'm gonna get up to say this. Tanking does not work, New York. It does not work, especially with the rules in place right now. Tanking does not work. Every single year, y'all are waiting for the big free agent signing, the big trade, getting the #1 pick in the draft. But the reality is that 95% of the time, what works is having a competent organization first and foremost. That means scouting. That means good development. That means having good coaches, from the head coach to assistant coaches. That means making good trades. In the past 2 years, it just seems like the Knicks are just grabbing young players that had start potential and people gave up on, and they're just waiting for one of them to have like a Linsanity moment and go from there. Like, what kind of plan is that? What kind of plan is that? Moving on to the Phoenix Suns. The truth is, y'all finally have expectations of going into the playoffs next season, and that is due to how y'all played in the bubble. The narrative was after the bubble was that the Phoenix Suns are actually a playoff team. They just suffered a lot of injuries in the 2020 season. So if y'all aren't competing for a playoff spot next season, there's going to be a lot of disappointed fans out there. The Orlando Magic, just throw them in there with the Detroit Pistons. Throw them in there with the Charlotte Hornets. What are y'all doing? Are y'all building around Nikola Vucevic? Is that really the plan? Is that really the plan? Come. Now we got the Portland Trailblazers, a team that I've made a harsh truth video about. And the harsh truth is Dame and CJ are just too bad of a defensive backcourt to stay together. If y'all want to actually, like be in championship contention. Because right now the ceiling, I think, already happened. It already happened in 2019. And let's be honest, let's keep it a buck, let's keep it a bean. A big reason why they made it to the Western Conference Finals was simply because of the path that they had in the first and second round. If they faced the Golden State Warriors in the second round, knocked out. The 76ers, man, like the Portland Trailblazers, I think it's time to choose between Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, because you can't have a post-up big like Joel Embiid on the court at the same time as a perimeter player who can't shoot for jack. That just doesn't work, or at least it's not going to be effective. And conversely, when you have a player like Ben Simmons who can't shoot, you can't have a post-up big that's going to clog the paint and just shoots like 33, 34, 35% from three. That's not going to work. And also, Elton Brand, shame on you for giving out those contracts, man. Those contracts were horrible. Horrible. Now, the Sacramento Kings, I'm really just hoping y'all haven't reached your potential because of injuries. Because I remember 2 years ago, y'all were in the running for the 8th seed in the West. And a lot of people had high hopes for y'all the season after. Kind of like what the Phoenix Suns are going into next season. And it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So I'm really hoping that you guys can actually do some damage next year. The Toronto Raptors, man. Shout out to the Toronto Raptors, first and foremost. Because for them to be really just one quarter, like the last 5 minutes away from being in the Eastern Conference Finals after losing the reigning Finals MVP in Kawhi is a very impressive feat. Very impressive feat. But I think after this playoff run, it's clear that Pascal Siakam can't be the number one on a championship team. The dude has like 5 moves. But if it's not Pascal Siakam, it's Kyle Lowry. And Kyle Lowry, age is not on his side. Age is not on his side. And Pascal Siakam right now is like 26, 27. So he should be entering his prime. But that also means as a 27-year-old, he should be nearing what he is in his prime. And if this is what it is, I really don't think y'all are going to win a championship. And I'm just a little concerned what the future actually holds for the Toronto Raptors in the next 4 to 5 years. The San Antonio Spurs, please shoot some damn threes. Oh my God, please. Please. I know it's hard when you guys have DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge, but at some point, we're going to have to critique either the management, or Greg Popovich. Someone has to be held accountable, because that's crazy. How are y'all not in a position to shoot threes, whether it be from a coaching or a management or a player perspective? Someone has to be blamed. The Washington Wizards, I don't know what you guys are doing. Like, what's the plan? What's the plan? At least y'all have Bradley Beal, unlike the Magic and the Detroit Pistons. Y'all have a legit star in Bradley Beal. But what is the plan? Are y'all just waiting for John Wall to come back and hope he's in 2017 form? But even if he does come back in 2017 form, how deep is that team really gonna go? Probably a second round exit at best. I'm just confused. Like, what's the plan with the Wizards? And last but not least, the Utah Jazz. Y'all gotta get D-Mitch some help, bro. Y'all gotta get D-Mitch some help. Y'all have really gotten away with putting pretty much a majority of the load on offense on a 6'3", 6'4" shooting guard, late lottery pick in his first 3 years in the league. In his first 2 years, he was working with spacing that had Derek Favors and Rudy Gobert in the front court. And as soon as they got rid of Derek Favors and fixed their spacing just a little bit, Donovan Mitchell's efficiency went up. And I'm just really tired of D. Mitch for getting flack for his lack of efficiency when he doesn't really have that much help on offense. He really doesn't. From a spacing perspective and just the amount of playmakers on that team, he really doesn't have that much. But that is going to be it for this video. 30 harsh truths for 30 NBA teams. Obviously not 30, because, a couple of them I really didn't have anything to say. I'm sorry. But y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. If y'all want to see more videos like this, leave a like on the video. Come on, man. Leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But I'm out. Your boy is out. Yes, sir. Peace.